Hi everyone, this is Shantae, aka Shantizi on Twitter and Instagram, or just simply just Shantae. So welcome to another episode of my analysis. Hi Paul, on Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. So I'm just going to get right into COVID-19 because that is the main thing that is keeping us home, keeping us inside doors and keeping us quarantined, or those who are still in quarantine, or whatnot. So global confirmed cases in 191 countries, according to the Johns Hopkins University of Medicine website, is 65,169,904 cases of COVID. Global deaths is at 1,505,527. In the United States, we have surpassed 14 million cases. So we're at 14,125,615 confirmed cases of COVID-19 here in the USA. The U.S. death toll has risen now to, it was, I think, at 273 or 274 yesterday. Now is at 276,153. So once again, the U.S. has 14,125,615 confirmed cases of COVID-19, and the U.S. death toll is 276,157. Hello, how you doing, Troy? And as of today, the U.S. had over 200,000 confirmed new infections of COVID-19. And yes, LJ, it's getting worse. It's not getting any better. And our leadership is absent. Our leadership is absent. Now I'm going to draw your attention to the New York Times COVID map because that's what's going on over here on the boulevard. So now Texas has 1.3 million. So they're at 1,309,650 cases of COVID-19. Yeah, I said the same thing, LJ. What leadership? Because there is no leadership. I mean, there is the leadership. The leadership is not the leadership. You know what I'm saying? California, 1,291,797. Florida, 1 million. They're the third state to hit 1 million. 1,029,222. Illinois, 761,192. New Jersey, no, excuse me, not New Jersey. New York is 678,869. Georgia, 469,955. Ohio, 446,859. Wisconsin, 426,534. Michigan, 410,379. Pennsylvania, 392,610. Those are the top 10 cases in the United States. But you have other states. Most states are now at 100,000 and more cases of COVID-19. The only states that have tiny bit of cases is more so the territories and the nation's capital. Every other state and even New Hampshire. But there's a lot of states now. A lot of states are over 100,000 of COVID-19 cases. And the situation is not going to get any better. Like, you have North Dakota, South Dakota. Like, they have high infection rates, and Idaho. Those states don't even have a big population, say like New York, for example, or California, even though they have the most cases, but their infection rates are not as high as these Rust Belt states. So, according to some counties who have the most cases right now, who had a lot of cases within the last 7 days, cases basically in the Rust Belt states. And it's not getting any better. It's just not. Not at all. And of course, the Senate, you know that there's no relief. Mitch McConnell definitely said there's no reason to have relief. He's not even looking at the bipartisan bill that's being proposed. That's why these Senate races in Georgia is super important. So when these progressives talk about what the Democrat Party done for you, or these black MAGA tats, whatever they are, what Democrats have done for you, obviously the Democrats are proposing more legislation. The problem is we don't have the Senate, and that's why these two Georgia Senate races are important. I know Reverend Warnock was going to win because no one likes Kelly Loeffler, but it's the David Perdue race that I'm worried about, like between David Perdue and John Ossoff, because those rednecks down there actually like David Perdue. For some fucking reason, I have no idea. He didn't even hold a town hall meeting for your asses, but y'all want to vote for him. Why? I have no idea. Anywho, yeah, that's why these races are important. That's why it's time to get Mitch McConnell out of power. He shouldn't even been fucking re-elected in the first goddamn place. But here we are. Shoulda, coulda, wouldas are out the door. So stay tuned for more news out of COVID. Now I want to get into Biden and Harris. So tonight they had an interview. I didn't watch it, but apparently some journalists are more for sensationalism than actual journalism. Yeah, and our population is only in the USA is 330 million people, and that's 20% of the world's population, and we have the most cases. That makes no sense. But on to this this interview. It's a clip where Jake Tapper asks about their AG pick, if they're going to act independently or they're going to either investigate Donald Trump or not investigate Donald Trump. So Jake Tapper asked Kamala Harris, VP-elect Kamala Harris, this question.
And the primary last year, Madam Vice President-elect, you told NPR that the Justice Department, quote, would have no choice but to prosecute President Trump, and that, quote, there has to be accountability. How does that square with what the President-elect has said about not telling the Justice Department to go after individuals?
We will not tell the Justice Department how to do its job. And we are going to assume, and I say this as a former Attorney General, elected in California, and I ran the second largest Department of Justice in the United States, that any decision coming out of the Justice Department, in particular the United States Department of Justice, should be based on facts, it should be based on the law, it should not be influenced by politics, period.
I guarantee you that's how it will be run.
Of course, Joe Biden was like, tag me in, because, see, this is what happens when the media, the mainstream media, plays on dumbass fucking narratives like that. And I think you could catch some parts of the interview if they posted on YouTube under the CNN YouTube channel. You can do that. But that's what I'm talking about. And especially with white male journalism, because I feel like they've been fucking up lately. Overall. The only one that have been consistent and that has not been fucking up is Lawrence O'Donnell. Each and every one of them has been fucking up. No matter what their political views are, because some of them don't announce that, but they've been fucking up lately. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck? Why are you playing on old narratives last year? That was all the way last year. Things have changed. That was Kamala's opinion, but doesn't mean because she's in the position that she's going to say, oh, I want the DOJ to do this. The DOJ is going to act independently. Just because, see, the problem is they let Trump break all the rules and all the norms, and some of them secretly like that shit. If it was any other president, whether it was Democratic or Republican, they will scrutinize them. If it was President Obama, they would scrutinize him. Even if it was George Bush, they would scrutinize him. But it's okay for Donald Trump to get away with shit because they like that chaotic shit. And that's why I will never forgive half of the mainstream media boasting this New York grifter from Queens. I will never. It will take me a long time because they played him more and demonized Hillary Clinton. They promoted that Russia propaganda shit. If you really want to get technical, if you really want to keep it all the way to 100. And that's a fact. That's a goddamn fact. Why Republicans are asking folks not to vote? Because they feel like it's rigged. Because they keep listening to Donald Trump's stupid ass, which the elections wasn't rigged. Republicans won more seats in the House than Democrats. Even though Democrats still got majority control. So I don't understand that bullshit. But they obviously want Democrats to win. That's fine with me. I don't mind a Reverend Warnock and a John Ossoff in there. And John Ossoff gets in there. He'll be the youngest senator elected, and not elected in history, but the youngest senator serving in the Senate. Because the youngest senator that serves in the Senate is Josh Hawley's rat-infested looking ass. And he annoying as fuck. He's the worst politician on both sides of the party. If you really want to get technical, he's worse than Joe Manchin. He makes Joe Manchin ass look good. And I'm not even team Joe Manchin. So I would like to see John Ossoff and Dave and what's his name? Reverend Warnock in there. Well, he will always still be Reverend Warnock, but he'll be Senator Raphael Warnock. But yeah, I hope I answered your question, Paul. But that's stupid as fuck. Anywho, what's another topic I had on there? So this whole defund the police thing has been another, thank you. There has been another conversation that I am tired of. Like, I'm so tired. Let me just say this. I have no problem with the slogan. I personally have no problem with the slogan. I have no problem with the message behind it. Even though I don't agree with the former president of the United States saying voters did not want to vote for that, because either way they wanted to vote Republican. I disagree with him on that part. But what I agree with him on the other part, what I agree is the marketing behind defund the police. And it wasn't the activists, it was some of these progressive elected officials who basically did not fully explain the meaning behind defund the police properly, that did not articulate it properly. The only person, honestly, that articulated defund the police properly was then Senator Kamala Harris, before she was VP-elect Kamala Harris, explained defund the police. You can look on my page on Twitter. I posted the video, or you can go on YouTube and type in Kamala Harris, The View, and she explains, or Kamala Harris, defund the police, and she explains what defund the police means without saying defund the police. She says all the other stuff. She said, let's reimagine what our law enforcement look like. Talked about community policing, talking about shifting funds, talking about actual real reform. See, what some of these white progressives, the problem is, they see a slogan, they think it's cool, and instead of saying what they want, real reform, they bastardize on it. Because even here, when there was marches on defund the police, what they did was abolish the police, no more police. Hold up. Black people want police. What we don't want is for police. Thank you, Paul. What we don't want is police officers to put their fucking hands on us, to racially profile us, or to even shoot us. We don't want none of those things. We just want to be treated as human beings. We want the police to protect us, to serve and protect us like they serve the white folks. That's all we want. That's all we ask for. We don't want the police to be abolished. We got some police officers in our family, people in law enforcement in our family. So I don't understand why white progressives always tends to fuck everything up. Restructuring and allocating funds in certain areas where it comes to responsible law enforcement. Exactly. Activists didn't get it wrong. Activists actually got defund the police, right? And along with the CBC, who had drafted the Justice and Policing Act, which is passed by the House of Representatives, now that bill is sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk, and he doesn't want to put that on the floor because he doesn't care. They're pro-police and advocated for Tim Scott, made Tim Scott the face of the GOP bill because he's the only black lone GOP senator. And that bill didn't even get enough votes because the Democrats did not vote for it. And I think one Republican didn't vote for it. Who wanted that fucking bill? That bill was a piece of shit. It was basically an extension of Donald Trump's executive order, pro-police. Not ending qualified immunity, not ending no-knock warrants. It does not ban chokehold. Like, really? Seriously? But as I said, white progressives always tend to bastardize moments of peace and moments of actual positive messaging behind a movement. And that's why I always critique them and I will always criticize them any chance I fucking get. And I don't care who motherfucking likes it. Because you don't do that shit. So that's my problem with them. The only thing I slightly disagree with President Obama, those voters were going to vote Republican. However, he was not wrong about that marketing. He wasn't wrong about that shit. That shit wasn't wrong because the messaging behind the slogan wasn't fully explained. And it wasn't explained correctly. And if they took the lead, if they watched Kamala Harris, how she explains defund the police, how they watch Barbara Lee, Representative Barbara Lee, explain what defund the police means, you would have a nice widespread election. Not by white centrists, but I mean, shit would have been different. Not just within this election, but overall shit would have been different. But obviously, white progressives always tend to fuck up a good movement, and that is true. You just learned where police started, didn't know they were still Yep. But I'm just like, really? And there was a video of a white progressive. They said, well, something was wrong with him. No, he was up in a black man's face who was a cop threatening his ass. Like, that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. So I'm like, that's why, like I said, I always critique them, always criticize them, because they always have a fucking motive behind their stupid shit that they do. They want to march with us, but you don't know how to be peaceful. Look at the movies and look at the documentaries about how peaceful protesters are, how Martin Luther King and the Southern Christian Leadership Center conducted their movements. And that's what I'm saying. And that's what they need to do. But to end this, I believe Kamala Harris added more people to her cabinet, to her So as I'm looking at the Biden and Harris transition, Kamala Harris has a black chief of staff. So sad that Black history is so ignored. That is true. That is true, Paul. Kamala Harris has a black chief of staff. She has a Indian domestic policy advisor to her and a national security advisor to the vice president. So Kamala Harris has a diverse team. which is a good thing. Also, Kamala Harris has Simone Sanders to be her senior advisor and chief spokesperson, which I think is cool. And reporters, like I say, reporters are going to be shook. They're going to be scared because Simone be with the smoke. Simone like, what? Huh? I was hoping she would be the press secretary, but that position itself is fine. Because Simone don't play no fucking game. Simone is that bitch. So that is that. But I will see y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a little later because I am doing a live stream with Too Raw and Too Real Kenny, for those who follow him on Twitter and those who subscribe to his YouTube channel at 9 p.m. tomorrow on Instagram. I also have my Instagram live stream, I think at 10:30, called Shantae's Analysis. I do my Instagram live on Friday, and then I have the after show. I do the after show here on Fridays. Hashtag Shantae's Analysis. If you want more content, you can always you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shantae Berry. It's my first and last name, Chantay, last name Berry. You can also follow me on Instagram. And I really appreciate for those who always watch and always support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm working now. So now that school is over, I'm working. Is a consulting job, but I'm working. And so I'll be tired. So that's why I'm starting to do these a little earlier during the week. So thank you once again, everyone. And I hope you have a blessed and wonderful night.